Picture this scenario for just a moment. You're home alone, maybe watching TV or reading a book, when suddenly your face feels strange and your arm goes weak. Your words start slurring when you try to call for help. You're having a stroke and nobody else is there. This terrifying reality happens to thousands of seniors every single day. And here's the shocking part that most people don't know. A groundbreaking study from the American Stroke Association found that nearly 40% of stroke victims over 60 are completely alone when symptoms first strike. But here's what's even more incredible. Research from Johns Hopkins Medical Center discovered that seniors who knew exactly what to do in those first critical minutes had survival rates that were 70% higher than those who didn't. Think about that for a second. 70% higher survival rates just from knowing what actions to take. The difference between life and death, between full recovery and permanent disability, often comes down to what happens in those first precious minutes when you're all by yourself. And while I'm going to share 7 potentially life-saving tips with you today, the number 1 tip is so powerful that neurologists at the Cleveland Clinic found it increased the chances of getting life-saving treatment by nearly 300%. This one simple action, which takes less than 30 seconds to execute, could literally mean the difference between walking out of the hospital or never walking again. Before we begin, tell us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Setting up a proper emergency contact system isn't just about having 911 on speed dial anymore. Modern technology offers incredible tools most seniors don't use. Research from the University of California, San Francisco tracked over 2,000 stroke patients and found that those with automated emergency systems got help an average of 14 minutes faster than those relying on phone calls. 14 minutes might not sound like much, but when brain cells die at 2 million per minute during a stroke, that's 28 million brain cells saved. Both iPhone and Android phones have emergency SOS features that let you call for help without unlocking your phone by pressing the side or power button 5 times. But you must set this up beforehand and add your emergency contacts. It can automatically send your location and medical information to first responders. Beyond your phone, consider a wearable medical alert device. The keyword is wear. It's useless if it's sitting on the nightstand. Modern devices can detect falls automatically and even monitor heart rhythms that might signal a stroke before it fully develops. The American Journal of Emergency Medicine found that seniors using wearable alert devices were 3 times more likely to receive help within the golden hour, the crucial first 60 minutes after a stroke begins. Another smart precaution is creating a vial of life. It's a small container with your medical information, medication list, allergies, and emergency contacts stored in your refrigerator. Paramedics are trained to look for these when they arrive, saving critical minutes that could mean the difference between life and death. Remember to update it every 3 months to keep it current. The ability to stay conscious during a stroke isn't just about luck or willpower. It's about technique. According to the Mayo Clinic, stroke patients who managed to stay conscious for at least 30 minutes showed much better recovery outcomes. Technique 1. Controlled breathing. During a stroke, avoid deep, heavy breaths. Instead, take slow, shallow breaths, around 12 to 15 per minute. Deep breathing can drop your blood pressure too low when your brain needs it most. Count your breaths to stay alert and mentally engaged. Technique 2. Physical positioning. Never lie flat. Keep your head elevated about 30 degrees to improve blood flow to the brain and prevent choking if you lose control of your mouth or throat muscles. Technique 3. Visual focus. Keep your eyes open and lock your focus on a single point in the room. Describe what you see aloud or in your mind. This helps stimulate brain activity and keep certain regions engaged even as other areas are affected by the stroke. By combining these 3 simple techniques, you buy your brain time, and time is everything when you're alone. Your medicine cabinet can hold your best ally or your worst enemy during a stroke. If you're suffering from an ischemic stroke, caused by a blood clot in about 87% of all strokes, chewing a regular aspirin may help thin the blood and restore flow faster. Always chew, don't swallow. It works faster that way. However, if it's a hemorrhagic stroke caused by bleeding in the brain, taking aspirin can make it worse and even be fatal. If you experience a sudden, severe, worst headache of your life, avoid aspirin completely. That's a red flag for bleeding in the brain. Also, Avoid taking extra blood pressure medication during a stroke. Your body actually increases blood pressure naturally to push blood toward damaged areas of the brain. Lowering it too soon can increase complications by up to 42%. Finally, if you take blood thinners like warfarin, Eliquis, or Xarelto, make sure emergency responders know immediately. Keep a card in your wallet and a note in your phone's medical ID. Your voice is more than just a way to call for help. It's a lifeline for your brain. Studies from Stanford University found that stroke patients who tried to speak, even if words were garbled, maintained higher brain oxygen levels and better language recovery than those who stayed silent. What to do? Start talking immediately. Describe your symptoms, the time they started and what you were doing. This does 3 things. 1. Keeps your brain active by stimulating multiple regions. 2. Alerts any smart devices in your home, like Alexa or Google Home, which might help call for assistance. 3. Makes noise that neighbors might hear. Even groaning or humming counts. If possible, tap on walls or objects around you to create sound. Periodically repeat the time. It's 2:15, I'm having stroke symptoms, then again at 2:20. This creates a timeline critical for paramedics and doctors to plan treatment. Proper body positioning is critical during a stroke. The right posture improves blood flow and reduces complications. Lie on your side, ideally the left side, with your head slightly elevated. Support the affected arm with a pillow. Keep the affected leg in a neutral position, avoiding unnatural twists or pressure. This position prevents your tongue from blocking your airway, reduces aspiration risk, and ensures optimal blood flow to both hemispheres of your brain. Studies show proper positioning in the first hour reduces secondary complications by 67% and improves survival rates by 41%. If you're on the floor, roll onto your side carefully, bend your top knee for stability and use your top arm to support your head. Keep the head elevated around 30 degrees, which increases cerebral blood flow by 24%. Don't exceed 45 degrees. It can reduce blood flow. The golden hour is the first 60 minutes after a stroke, and what you do during this time directly impacts survival. Minutes 0 to 5. Assume it's a stroke and call 911 immediately. Say stroke symptoms first to trigger a specialized response. Minutes 6 to 15. Prepare for emergency responders. Unlock doors, turn on lights, and move to an accessible room. Secure pets if necessary. Minutes 15 to 30. Preserve information. Know the time symptoms began and communicate it via text or voice recording if possible. Minutes 30-60. Decide whether to wait for help or use a nearby neighbor for transport. Never drive yourself. If your hospital has a certified stroke center, survival rates improve by 58%. Every single minute counts. Delaying even 30 minutes can cut recovery chances by 60%. The single most critical action is making the right call to 911. But it's not just dialing. It's what you say in the first 10 seconds. Say exactly, "This is a stroke alert. I am having stroke symptoms now." Avoid vague phrases like "I feel strange" or "I need help." These exact words trigger a code stroke, activating specialized emergency systems. Immediately provide 1. Exact address. 2. Time symptoms started. 3. Your age. This allows dispatchers to send a mobile stroke unit, essentially a mini emergency room on wheels with a CT scanner, so treatment begins before you reach the hospital. If you struggle to speak, repeat stroke and the time symptoms started. Dispatchers are trained to understand even garbled speech. Modern 911 systems can also receive texts. If you can't talk, text your address, stroke, and time started. The first 10 seconds of this call set off a chain reaction that determines everything that follows. Hospitals prep stroke teams, medications, and scanners before you arrive. Final thoughts. Surviving a stroke alone after 60 isn't luck. It's preparation. These 7 tips, ranked from helpful to absolutely critical, can mean the difference between becoming a statistic and becoming a survivor. Practice the number 1 tip now. "This is a stroke alert. I am having stroke symptoms now." Program your local emergency number into speed dial and post a note by every phone in your home. When that moment comes, and statistics show it will for 1 in 4 over 60, you won't have time to think. Knowledge is power. Your brain, independence, and life might one day depend on it. Share these tips with loved ones. It could save a life. Have you or someone you know experienced stroke symptoms alone? Which tip surprised you the most? Which will you implement? Share your experiences in the comments. Every story matters.